श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम। 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 राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम। श्री 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 राम जय राम जय राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम जय 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 जय राम। What shall we talk?
I got one doubt, shall I ask you? Which is the best way to remember God? Easiest way to remember God?
The moment we think that we have to remember God, the struggle happens. Suppose we take everything as they are as forms of God. Over the years, so many years, over decades, we have built up a feeling that this is how we have to remember God. As if He is not there in some realm. So that is why all of us are struggling. So we try to practice this now, here. He is making us to talk. He is making us to hear. He is making us to walk. He is making us to open the eyes. He is making us to see the world through the eyes. Like that, there is a question of especially remembering. This is easy to say. This is the practice somehow we have to develop. Otherwise, this remembrance, it becomes an activity like any of our activities. And whenever we are not in that activity, we feel we are not remembering.
Papa, we hear told the easiest way to remember God is chanting. We hear told.
Initially, the mind will keep on labeling that this is outside the purview of God remembrance, this is inside the purview of God remembrance. So that is why he said, you chant. After some time, he will say, you should know that you are chanting the name of one who is within you. Most important next one. He is making you to chant. So if he is making me to chant, he is making me to see. He is making me to hear. He is making me to think. Initially, this question was troubling every one of us. So when Swamiji explained that as Ananda Shivan, when he came, and Papa said, if doubts come, it is because we haven't properly chanted. Then started thinking about it deeply. What is the proper chanting? Proper chanting is this. Later on he says that he is making me to chant. So we start from that. We start from the fact that he is making me to chant. If he is making me to chant, then it becomes very clear. He is making me to open my eyes. He is making me to hear through my ears. He is making me to taste through my tongue. He is making me to feel the touch of it through the skin. He is making me to breathe through my nose. Because we have completely in our mind, there is a clear-cut definition. That this is God remembrance, chanting of God's name, bhajan, satsang, darshan of Mahatma, recollection of Mahatma, darshan, all those things, initially that is how we have to do it. Today we will read out one dialogue. How do we identify, question asked by devotees, how do we identify ourselves with the divine if we do not know what it is? Fundamental, this is a struggle, no? Unless we have the right concept of the conceptless reality.
To have a concept is not concept.
Still we need something approximating to that. We know intellectually that whatever is seen is perishable, whatever is seen is unperishable. Whatever is unseen is unperishable. Take it for granted as declared by great saints that the divine can be known. Unseen is imperishable. Take it for granted as declared by great saints that the divine can be known. First assurance. Faith. When you sit silent and with eyes shut, feel the divine consciousness pervading everywhere. Consciousness. I am aware. When you sit silent and with eyes shut, feel the divine consciousness pervading everywhere. You can imagine it very well. From the seen, you can go to the unseen. From the multiple, you can go to one. Just as we can think of the entire immortality by seeing death, and just as death at once makes us conscious of that immortal state, the external conflicts and miseries will make us conscious of an eternal happy state. The impermanency that we see around us will take our mind towards the state of immortality. So we pray to God, lead me from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. When we work in the farm, the fodder is cultivated by us. The fodder is given to the cows. The cows, apart from giving milk, also gives its urine and the cow dung. The cow dung and urine is collected again, all mixed of course, and again it is taken. Now we are applying in the farm. So it is not a death, You start thinking. That's what it is. When you see the so-called labeled death, you find the recycling goes on. It changes its form. Again, we put the same thing to the fodder also. Again, the fodder comes. That fodder is given to the cow. You cut it and give. Again, it eats. It comes out in the form of cow dung. Again, that is applied to the fodder. See, we are seeing it. When you go to Goshala and the fodder, you will find that. Every day they are cutting grass and putting. Where the urine and this go, there will be a big tank there in the field. Once in a way they will pour it out on the. So this manana will help us. Otherwise it is not. Somebody says you have to say manana. You have to keenly observe the workings of the nature. So there is a evam pravasitam chakram. This goes on. There is a cycling going on. The mysterious power. First question. How do we maintain constant remembrance? It's mysterious power. First of all, if we are fortunate enough, blessed enough to think that everything is from here, and to have it from here, he is needed. If he is not there, Papa says, the traditions or customs or whatever, it has to be demolished.
Only that only. Now I am requesting you, Swamiji, please teach me swimming and where we go.
For agreed, you need a place.
Unless I exist myself.
And you have to do it by yourself. That is why it is said that each one has to practice, nobody can advise, nobody can take. They can only serve to some extent, guiding. Just like what we are reading now. Unless I do the manana by myself. And then I realize that even the capacity to do manana is given by him. So they have given us so many proofs. This constant remembrance is, as Sri Sri Anandamayi says, to accept everything as they are without choosing one thing for another. Remembrance, darshan, surrender, grace, all are things. To dwell on it always. Don't think that we have to dwell like this, no. We are accepting everything as that. So initially when we struggle, there are moments when we forget the labeled form of practice. Then we feel we are disconnected with God Almighty. Then suddenly you ask the question, how did you forget? How did you remember? How did you forget? then we know even the remembrance and the forgetfulness is a part of his Leela. In order that we get it ratified, corroborated, we go to Bhagavad Gita and check up the world. Then there is a shloka there, you know. Remembrance is me, knowledge is me, and forgetfulness is me. So that means even while we think we have forgotten, that act also is correct. Matta smriti jnanam apohanam. Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. That gave us a lot of clarity. It is true, this struggle comes. Because initially we thought, chanting alone gives you God over. Initially, yeah, okay. We try to we try to concentrate on the sound, or we try to concentrate on any form, or we concentrate on any form that the mind goes out. He says specifically, Finally, he gives witness. That is also not possible.
How to get that? It is easy.
It cannot be God delivered, because the question comes because of him only, That when we keep on probing deeper and deeper and deeper, immediately think about Bhagavan Ramana, Who is questioning? Who am I? Who is now questioning? Find out. He will suddenly make you to turn towards. It has to be practiced by our Papa answered beautifully, mysterious power. That word itself says that we cannot clarify more than that. If it is a power that can be brought within the ambit of knowable, he would have done it. So that is why he used the word mysterious. It is there, but it is not there. It is there, it is there, but it is not cognizable. Because it is not an object. It is the one which is making you to say so. This question will help. This question, why he is making you to think. Not only for you, for all of us, the question helps us to get clarified. Coming back again. The impermanency that we see around us will take our mind towards the state of immortality. So we pray to God, lead me from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. That means, I think we should redefine these words for us. Lead me from the unreal to the real. I have in my mind, there is unreal and there is real. There is in my mind darkness, light. There is in my mind death and immortality. At certain planes, they are all right. On Amavasi day, when nobody is there, darkness is there outside, but inside the light is there.
When you are aware that there is no dharma, anadharma. Shanti adeva, it will be.
You have to do the thinking, very serious. Only through manana this can be got. That is why during the inquest of God you will find many a time he retires to forest, solitude, where this intense manana is going on. Intense.
We are not going solitude.
Two, three things.
You want company always. All the days, wherever we are going, not even one day, not even 1 or 2 hours I think, except sleeping. Just company always. Yeah, that is different.
We can think of the impersonal reality pervading everywhere, although we have not seen or experienced it. When we think of the height, depth also comes to our mind. When we think of darkness, we automatically think of light. Though they are apparently opposite, really they are one in the ultimate reality. They are like the obverse and reverse of the same coin. When you make your mind perfectly still, you become at once aware of the impersonal reality, which you may call a state of nirvana or salvation or anything. Your intellect, mind or senses have no entry into that realm, which is indescribable. Buddha in his characteristic way told us that it can be described only by saying what it is not. Shankaracharya also used that, Nirvana Shukam. In the Upanishads also the path of neti neti, not this is prescribed. So whatever you hear, whatever you see is not he. He is beyond your thoughts, beyond your feeling, beyond your sight, beyond your hearing. Therefore, in the Light of Asia, Ramdas was charmed with 1 or 2 lines in which the teachings of Buddha are given in a poetic form. Do not dip the string of thought into the unfathomable. He who questions earth, he who answers earth. So we are trying to dip our thoughts into the unfathomable. Thoughts cannot enter there. When thoughts cease, we can experience that. It is not a thing to be attained, but it's experienced. It is, but it's only a state to be realized. It is our real state which we have forgotten. So by realizing it, we are not attaining anything new, but are only getting back to our original real nature. A man had some foreign matter in his eyes. This gave him irritation. He became very uncomfortable and went to a doctor who removed the foreign matter from his eye. He then felt happy. He did not gain anything new. He only regained what he had lost. Another example is a man had some money in a purse, which he put it into his pocket. He forgot all about the existence of the purse, went about asking others for money, saying that he had no money. When somebody reminded him that he had his purse in his own pocket, he felt his pocket and found it was there. Now, did he gain anything? He only realized that he was not without money, but possessed it even before he was reminded of it. This is what the Hindu philosophy teaches. Once it so happened, that human may laugh, that we were searching for the specs when we were wearing it. Nowhere it is there. Normally we keep it in a particular place. Many years back. Suddenly, why this experience? And we said, this is how. Then somehow the hand went here. Because the mind is not registering that you are aware of the fact. And naturally you will search for the. Then this is like this. When you say you are what you are, it is basically, intrinsically, essentially, it is because of that only you know that there is no speck. Oh. You know that there is speck. So both these facts are made known to you because of the presence of that. Change and changeless.
3 days later we say Dvandvatita. Don't think about what we are saying.
Dvandvatita. We chant because at least one day one word will open the key and open the
The mind is already made to all these things.
lock.
Once you are afraid to us, the breathing, the hand and pain, you remember, it is so true, you know.
You know that?
Wow. Main devil is God.
So back again. When you make your mind perfectly still, you become at once aware of the impersonal reality. The process is only to remove the ignorance and to know that you are that. The moment the ignorance is removed, you become conscious of your real existence. In Ramnam chanting, Papa gave this aspect also. You are chanting the name of your own self. Atmaram. You have forgotten that you are Atmaram. So you have to ceaselessly remember until you get fixed that you are Ram. Specifically he says. So that Nama helps us to know the truth. Nama should not stop with that. That is why even after scaling the heights, Papa was not chanting, excepting for initiation. It has done its job. So we should also think, when am I going to get stabilized in it? Please, for decades now I have been chanting. But I feel I am nowhere near to the reality. Why are you making me do that? See, how to attain this calmness? By praying to, remembering, meditating on God. God is absolute peace. So when you constantly think of peace, you will have peace. As a man thinketh, so he becometh. If you think of God always, you will have absolute peace. If you have the world in your thought, your mind will always be restless, as the world is full of restlessness. Question. Struggle and fight have also their root in God. Peace is only one side of the divine manifestation. On the surface, there may be some fights, but we have to go deep down to the basis of all the manifestation. After realizing that, let us be active in the world. So every time when we chant, if the prayer also goes along with it, it might help. We have to see that. You are making me to chant. Why don't you keep me that awareness by doing everything? Because you as life force, if it is not there, I don't exist. I can intellectually 100% convinced. And I am chanting your name. But still, excepting a few rare moments while chanting, this dimension does not stay with me. Enough of your Leela. That is why many bhaktas compose so many poems. Manasa Vacha Karmana adella idu nondana. Manasa Vacha Karmana nirantaram ninna smarikunnu ennittum ennodu kanivu kaattan amantaminte pannami. If you like that, then that will definitely help us. We have to devise our own method. Now everything is clear. When I have been treading on a path defined by somebody, I have not reached anywhere. That is the simple truth. But when I try to go within and pray and seek a method suited to me, then I find I am progressing. Papa has many times said, rely on yourself, rely on yourself, rely on yourself. So when we move from the devotee to a sadhaka stage, these questions will come. Always it will go on like this. They are also satisfied with that, You don't have to blame them. They are satisfied with that. Half an hour chanting will be there. 1 or 2 chanting may be going conscientiously. Otherwise, they may be going somewhere. But instead of doing something else, I am doing this. That is enough. But when they start thinking what is happening to me, then you are slowly moving from the state of a devoteehood to an aspirant. That is why Pujaya Swamiji, in his Dive Deep, he specifically mentioned in the last but one chapter, teacher and the disciple. There he said, we have to move from the devotee to the sadhaka. Because our masters did not stop with that state. They became aspirants and they put in their efforts, they scaled the height, realized and started sharing to us, to enthuse us, to make us first know that there is a higher life than what we are leading. Then they placed before us our methodology, their struggle. And some like Papa would have bluntly said, you have to devise your own method. That also he said only after some time. First he will say, you chant. Then every time after some chanting and we don't get concentration, so then we go and ask him, he will again say something. Only at that time you will be able to know, understand the meaning of the answer. First itself he says, you are chanting the name of your own self. No idea will come. What is self? And like that he will take us to some stage and leave us there. You have to develop your own. The questions like, is there constant remembrance? Then the question comes, how can I maintain constant remembrance? The question comes. Somebody will say that unless His grace is there, we cannot do. Again, we know that grace is not from outside. Grace is coming from inside. And what is grace? So he said that we have to do this. By praying to, remembering and meditating on God. Struggle and fight have also their root in God. Peace is only one side. On the surface there may be some fights, but we have to go deep down to the basis of all the manifestation. After realizing that, let us be active in the world. After realizing that, let us be active in the world. Question. Your answer is like saying that we should keep calm by being calm. Ramdas used the word God. You must pray to God, meditate on God. God is a thought. Absolute peace is nameless. Nobody can satisfy. God is a thought. Absolute peace is nameless. But you can give it a name by conceiving it as a thought. Thought as a form. So concentration upon that form, which stands out for absolute peace, will lead you to absolute peace. That is the way how people meditate and adore God in a particular form. Thought is a form and thought is a movement. But in God, there is no movement or change. We cannot reach that stage all of a sudden. So we take thought as a symbol, standing for that absolute peace, God. Okay? And concentrate our mind upon it until we feel we have identified ourselves with that thought and that thought disappears and we also disappear as separate individuals, then there is nothing but peace for us. So when we try to graduate, move from the devotee state to the aspirant state. How do we do that? The restlessness will come. In ashram also we see that, no? Chanting is going on. But that restlessness should come. No? What am I chanting for? Initially chanting may be, suppose it is linked to a particular objective. I must gain this, I must do that, therefore I am for that. Take my devotee state. God may hear our prayer also. So from that standing for some object, we should try.
Yeah, but they are coming here. They will join the person.
Question. Now, then there is nothing but peace. It seems to me that your expression of God seems to be very passive thinking, almost a thing without life. The kind of God I want is one that lives and not a dead state. Papa, God is both static and dynamic. We are having too much of the dynamic God. Let us have the static aspect. That is why Ramdas is emphasizing in his talks on realization of the static aspect first. God in his dynamic aspect is causing all the activities in the world. They all take place by his will and power. If we find that there is a background to this active life, which is the still and calm spirit, then only we will know that all the activities belong to the dynamic aspect of God. It's a very important point, very important point. Day for yesterday, so many days we keep on telling, easy way to identify him is that we concentrate on the breathing. Intellectually we are all convinced, Then what happens after that session? We are not in a position to hold on. That is why he said first you should realize the static aspect. This is the dynamic aspect. Coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. It activates the body. Yes, something for all of us to think. God is both static and dynamic. We are having too much of the dynamic God. Let us have the static aspect of it. That is why Ramdas is emphasizing in his talks on realization of the static aspect first. God in his dynamic aspect is causing all the activities in the world. They all take place by his will and power. If we find that there is a background to this active life, which is the still and calm spirit, then only we will know that all the activities belong to the dynamic aspect of God. Therefore, if we are conscious of that spirit and be active in the world, our activities will be a real expression of the self. Therefore, if we are conscious of the spirit, which is static, and be active in the world, our activities will be a real expression of the self. Ramdas does not mean that you should do away with activity together. God is active in the world and at the same witnesses his own activity. We have too much of activity at present, as a result of which we are miserable, worried. Everybody is rushing about in order to find peace and happiness, peace and calmness. Attainment of peace is possible only when you realize that there is an underlying reality and you identify yourself with that reality. You will see then how cheerful, how happy, how overflowing with joy you will be in your activity. You will never feel the sense of fatigue. The life will be like a blissful play. Akarma. So chanting is the dynamic aspect. Through chanting to experience the stillness, calm and stillness. That is the shade. Because that is the substratum upon which everything is built. The site and the building, As soon as the building is constructed, we don't remember the site at all. We are concentrating upon the various architectural beauty of the structure.
Base is forgotten. The base is forgotten.
We ourselves have bought the site. We ourselves have built it. Those who are staying in flats, they would not have built, but they would have seen while traveling. Then they will know this also has come because there is a site. So if we concentrate only on the building, the dynamic aspect, this house is good, that is house is not bad, then so suppose we see the site, site is staying forever. Then only by going deeper into this, all these dimensions will come. He is placing before us, to understand all these things, he is placing before us, parading before us, the static and dynamic aspect when you open your eyes. He is not merely the dynamic aspect. We can see that every day at 6 o'clock in the Arati is taking session. As soon as 6 o'clock the Arati is over, when we close the Ramna, there is a stillness, Previously we were denied of this, because immediately the chanting will go on for another 15 minutes. But here now we are so arranged that the chanting at 6 o'clock, as soon as the Arati is over, the chanting stops. A feeling of peace or something inexplicable, Immediately somebody calls you, again, okay, we are back to that. But in between that, the sound is on the soundless substratum. The chanting should enable us to lead to the substratum. This is what is expected of us by our masters. This is very clear. Today's message is very, very clear. Static and dynamic are there. We are attracted to the dynamic aspects. Nothing wrong. Sense of individuality finds joy always in dynamism. But spiritual aspirants should know there is a static aspect. Otherwise, the ups and downs that we get in the dynamic aspects cannot be stopped. Whereas when you remember, Pujya Swamiji was explaining that the experience he had, how the light went out on his body and he knew it was a tiny speck. And he started expanding everything. Then he knew it is not to be limited to the body. And later on he says, whenever there is any disturbance, all that he has to do is to contemplate upon the one which he had experienced. Reflection. Reflection. So beautiful. He was also struggling. So he says that whenever there is a disturbance, all that he has to do is now to get back to that state. So what is more important is this manana.
Here you are able to go back to that situation. There we are now. It's not our command or not.
Because of the aspiration. Because aspiration is different. Devotee stage and the sadhaka stage is different. Devotee is asking for the intervention of him to satisfy some of his questions, some desires, something. and he pays the price in the form of chanting or something like that. But an aspirant is not satisfied with that. I want you alone. How do I function as an individual? The 7 questions in the Vivek Chudamani, Vanamukando, Kadameshagadaha, Kadam Pradishtasya, Kadam Vimoksha, Vasadhanatma, Karamaka Atma. 7 questions he asked. Where from this bondage came? When will it go? What is that self? What is this non-self? Finally, what is the, how do I, he said, now how do I develop this Vivedanam, this discrimination? Like that, these questions, if they are coming, then we are slowly trying to become accurate. He says, during all these days, the practice of visualizing Lord Vishnu in my heart went on with great joy. Before coming to the ashram, when I was sitting for meditation, concentrating on the light within, the light of Atma, awareness, it's called awareness. Suddenly the light expanded to infinity, making this body appear an insignificant spot in that entire infinite existence. This gave me the vision that God or Atma is not confined to a spot within the body, but he is infinite, all-pervading, as the whole universe is in him. This experience was a great soothing factor, carried me through many vicissitudes in life. Whenever any external condition was disturbing, I had only to switch back to my real being, and immediately I would see the names and forms of the universe floating in me, capital M. And anything happening in the manifestation was not of much importance, as everything is transitory. His infinite mercy thus was carrying me through safely. It will not come in the same way to everybody, no? We are trying, immediately when we read, it will not come, it is spontaneous. So he may employ a different method through us. So our job is to crave for it, no? He is watching whether we are craving for it. We don't crave for it. Just like any other creature comfort is denied, we become conscious in here. Any creature comfort at any particular time is denied to us. Immediately we become conscious. Like that, are we becoming conscious? That means the aspiration, we have now practiced. We have now prayed to him. We have to somehow make our aspiration intense. If it is possible, we would have, because we want to realize the experience that state. Whenever we read the experience of Mahatma, normally the tendency will be there, I should live up to it. But then suddenly I come to know my equipment is different from him. The circumstances under which he was going through is different from that. When he said, prior to coming to ashram, he was going intensely through inner conflicts. He was very clear that he cannot join in the common run of life. But he doesn't know what is the other life. So he was praying, pleading, appealing, in his own way. And one fine morning, God blessed him with this experience. Not only Swamiji, many devotees have expressed, they had similar, I want to get that. So that is one way. I was sitting, before coming to the ashram, when I was sitting for meditation, concentrating on the light within, the light of Atma, suddenly the light expanded to infinity. Unless we have some clarity on the word light, we may form so many concepts. Other than the Ekashloki of Adi Shankara or Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you know, Sukha and what do you mean? Yajnavalkya and Janaka. That gives that inner life. Yajnavalkya and Janaka. When sun sets, moon is not there, fire is absent, there is no speech, then what is that life? The self indeed is our life, O king, for by that we sit, move, work, go out, come back. Janaka was deeply touched by this, but wanted to know from Yajnavalkya more about the self that he referred to as light of all life. The self is the pure awareness that shines as the light within the heart, surrounded by the senses.
Words we can't understand.
There are Upanishads, what is Upanishad? You should have some idea, no? How beautifully, what a beautiful thing, we have heard all these slokas. Natatra sujo bhadina chandatarakam niyama vidyido bhanti kutoya magihi. When the arati is performed, all these we were asked to chant. And we were told it is the Kathopanishad. But we stopped. Textual knowledge. What is that light? Satya bhasa sarvamidam vibhasi. Because of that light, everything is illumined. That we know the meaning. But we are not applied our mind, the textual meaning. But here he clarified, what is that light? The self is the pure awareness that shines as the light within the heart, surrounded by the senses. It is this self that is one with the soul reality, the Brahman. This self is free from desire, from evil, from fear. The man who, in union with the self, capital S, sees without seeing, smells without smelling, tastes without tasting, speaks without speaking, hears without hearing, touches without touching, thinks without thinking, knows without knowing, for there is nothing separate from him. When we read, we will immediately form, I eat, but I don't see the taste. I see, but I don't know. It is humanly impossible. What is meant here is that seeing itself is see. There is no seer and seeing. This state of not having another is a state of unity, one without a second. And that is the word of Brahman. This is the supreme goal of life, the supreme treasure, the supreme joy. So when Swamiji says the Aitya Atman, again the clarity comes through Upanishad. And then he says, this experience was a great soothing factor and carried me through many vicissitudes in life. Whenever any external condition was disturbing, I had only to switch back to my real being, and immediately I would see the names and forms of the universe floating in that universal being. And anything happening in the manifestation was not of much importance, as everything is transitory. Thus, His infinite mercy was carrying me through and through. That is how he came to the feet of the Master. It is not simply we see that how God works through us. Because the equipment needs some more taming, some more tuning, then he motivated him to pursue further. Finally he was led to ashram. Finally he had the darshan of Papa. Finally he had the Nama initiation. And most important, on the day of initiation, he was told that if you get doubt. So some people say, I get doubt, but I cannot ask. So he was trying to find out what is proper chanting, what is absent-minded chanting, or what is purpose level chanting. So the difference between purpose level chanting and the deep chanting, number one, and the purpose of chanting. Yeah. All those things got clarified because he cannot ask. He has to get the answer from within. In one stroke, Papa plugged the option. If you get doubt, you should know that you are properly chanted the name. When Swamiji shared, we also did not know what does it mean. Whether this tune is not alright, whether that tune is not alright, whether should there be accompaniment, should there not be accompaniment, whether it is for 30 minutes, whether it is for 1 hour. What is meant by this proper chanting? Sitting or standing or doing production. All these concepts only will come to us. But here is the fundamental thing. In chanting, just now he says, chanting should take us to a state where we don't feel that we are chanting. Yajnavalkya, when we do that, the chanting should take place when the chanter is not there. Chanted mantra is also not there, but chanting takes place. The sense of individuality totally recedes. So unless we do this manana, it will not be possible. Everybody is rushing about in order to find peace and happiness. Attainment of peace is possible only when you realize that there is an underlying reality and you identify yourself with that reality. You will see then how cheerful, how happy, how overflowing with joy you will be in all your activities. You will never feel a sense of fatigue. Life will be like a blissful play. One thing more is clear now, We may get a glimpse, but we should not stop with that. In today's marketing technology, they show something, so that we get an aspiration, we get a desire, we develop a desire to go and buy it. Advertisement, publicity, all those things came because of that. They try to touch and kindle a thing in us, aspire for it, desire for it. So similarly, Mahatmas, when we go, we should know that they are trying to make us aware of this. Somehow to kindle our aspiration. Otherwise we are so and so, I'm so and so. I live, I die, finished. Vivekananda, that is why to rouse everybody, we use this word. We should not be like worms. We should leave a milestone when we leave this world. Just like we remember him now, so he has dropped the body. Many, I think 1 century back. No, more than that. Still he is living. Adi Shankara is living. Socrates is living. Amarho.
All great men,
They live.
Forever.
Forever. Papa is living. 53. Just like that, you see, they are living. They are in the form of remembrance in our heart. They are only shuffled off their form. So, whenever he is there, you should give a milestone. Everybody comes, everybody lives, everybody dies. Nobody lives. Remember. He doesn't mean egoistically. He said there should be something, something by which you become a permanent source of inspiration to others.
Extraordinary.
In any field.
Separation.
In any field. Einstein we still remember, yeah. In any field. All cerebrites. When they excel in there, they leave an indelible impression.
Even Hitler, Napoleon is
So Ramdas does not mean that you should do away with activity altogether. God is active in the world and at the same time witnesses his own activity. You have too much of activity at present, as a result of which we are miserable, worried. Everybody is rushing about in order to find peace and calmness. Attainment of peace is possible only when you realize that there is an underlying reality and you identify yourself with that reality. You will see then how cheerful, happy, overflowing with joy you will be in your activity. Temple, is a classic example. Yeah. The stone is, absolutely static. Absolutely static. You put so many things in Abhishekam, you remove so many things, you offer so many things, you do arati, there is no change. So all these activities out of dynamics are done before the static. To teach us to know that they have brought this temple concept. But because we superimpose our activity on him, we only see the activity side. He has helped me. He has heard my prayer. Vinobaji clarified that. It was still there. Nobody knew it? The form, the idol, is the height of Nirguna. Impression. Untouched, unaffected, untroubled, under any circumstance. Here somebody has stolen. It also goes with it. Because the person who is so-called stealing is also, he is there, inside him. So to him, there is not a question of shifting or going away. We people say, yes, it was stolen and it was kept in, it was thrown in the thing, or it was taken to UK for marketing and all those things. It remains unruffled. It will not say that. So many people superimpose so many things on the same idol. But it is comfortable in the hands of people who have removed it, as it was comfortable in the hands of people who did the Pradishta. Yeah. See that? Excellent. Dynamic and static. We superimpose, we draw the necessary inspiration. So today's message is that ultimately, 2-3 things came up that we should move from the devotee stage to the sadhaka stage. That means it's not belittling even in a devotee, even as a devotee we can do that. But we are still arthas and artharthi. Jnani bhakta is there, mumukshu. Artha, artharthi, jijnasu jnani. So the other part, we have forgotten. So when you are talking about jijnasu and jnani, you have become aspirant. So today's message is that we should not be satisfied by simply becoming a artha and artharthi bhakta. Jijnasu we should become. Then only it will lead to the Pururama's episode clarified, Another bhakta, immediately he prayed. This Amma did not have the need to pray, He said, somebody has come, he prayed to him. What should we do? So intuitively he heard the answer, that is his prarabdha he is working out. When he went to the Amma, Amma did not consult anybody, Yeah.
God will do more.
God will do it. Oh, that static and dynamic, other than pair. Faith is, unshakable. Static. And he got cured because of the time he took, that prasad. So where now we should think about it deeply. The harmonious blend of these both should be there. Nobody can remain static. Nobody can remain dynamic throughout. So there should be a harmonious blend. Nature is giving us, that is why, morning till evening we say we are active. And as the night comes, we become inactive, physically. And there is a period where you rest. Again you become active. Through nature, God is teaching us every day. Waking state is there, in between dream state is there, sleep, deep sleep. But we don't apply this when we try to realize His presence. His presence is static. Okay. But we are doing so many activities, dynamic aspects to know Him. But we hardly understand that the static aspect also has to be done too. That is why Papa said, first I recommend everybody to do the static aspect. Because suppose even you work for 18 hours, you need rest, You will be craving for sleep. So let us try to take as much as possible. Today he has touched upon all these aspects. Personal, impersonal, dynamic. Finally he said first we should also concentrate on the dynamic aspect. We should not be concentrating only on the dynamic aspect.
Concentrate on the static aspect. Concentrate on the static aspect.
From
where static has come out.
Static and that is the base. So let us do some thinking. But the most important message is that we should do manana. We should set apart some time in a day and do manana. Even if it's for 5 minutes, if it is intense, it will give us some time. And plenty of clues are placed before us. They are not the answers, but it will lead us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Pranam, 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 pranam.